Yo, what's up, guys? It's Call Me Books, and we're here for another episode of Gamers TV. And today we're going to be talking about what we thought about the PlayStation 5 showcase. Why not just start with the actual hardware itself? You know, they finally revealed it, and I feel like it's a great design. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of memes have been put out there, and they're pretty funny. But the design is I love it. I mean, it screams next gen. What do you guys think about that?
I love the colors. The design isn't terrible. There really are just a couple things that I'm not too crazy about. I don't like the little pointy ears up top. And for the one that's coming with that the 4K Blu-ray optical drive, I do not like the placement at all. But other than that, I do think it's a very beautiful console. That the contrast of the colors really makes it pop. I don't know how they're doing those like LED strips in the corner, but it like made it for me. And I gotta agree with Books on this one. That next gen feel, I get it. Like it really just pops. And I kind of feel like, if I'm dropping all this money, I want something to make me feel like it's worth it. And having that eye candy in your entertainment room or wherever you do your gaming, the PS5 is accomplishing that, in my opinion.
So let me ask you guys this, since you own previous PlayStations where I have not. With previous PlayStations, you normally have them laying flat. Is that, it didn't seem like that was the case with the new PS5 that's coming out.
They always reveal it vertical, but after the reveal, they did also show some pictures of it horizontal.
Gotcha. I was a little concerned because the Xbox showed their reveals a few days before the PlayStation 5 reveal, and it's literally just a black box, which, I mean, when you think about it, Xboxes have always been box shaped. But this, I don't know, this just looks like a mini Alexa speaker kind of thing.
Bro, it's a mini fridge. There's really that's the only thing I think about it. Like, my favorite meme so far has to be using the Xbox Series X as like the leg of a table. Someone put a glass table over it, and then the PS5 as a router on top. It was like the most
wow
thing.
The PlayStation 5 does looks like a Wi-Fi router stuffed between a manila folder.
That's one of my favorite ones. I think mine has to be a PS2 by Old School Binder. This is what they did on it.
Yeah, I saw that. Got the early release.
What about the one with the Seto Kaiba head on it?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, because it has top collar, right?
Yeah, yeah. He wears like a trench vest jacket. I don't even know what it's called, and then he has like a black shirt inside, and yeah, just putting his head on top of it just completed that look.
Xbox went more for like they said it themselves, like they just trying to jam pack it. They didn't really go for the look. It's similar to the Xbox X. It's just the box. They jammed it with the GPU, the CPU, all the power, and just put it all together.
As long as it has good airflow, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's what they went for. Like their max airflow for heating.
I mean, we definitely don't want another Red Ring of Death situation.
No, definitely not.
History. But speaking of, right, as Punisher mentioned about like the hardware, they're trying to jam pack it. We have mentioned the PS5 hard drive. It is proprietary. Again, 5 gigabytes per second is phenomenal. And I was actually glad to see gameplay of it. One of the biggest gripes I had with the May Inside Xbox reveal was it was all like pre-rendered trailers. Yeah, it looked nice, but it's definitely not what they not only promised, because they said it was a gameplay trailer, but they did not deliver. Okay, PS5, Sony did it phenomenally with the older IPs and even the newer ones. Specifically talking about Ratchet and Clank with that hook claw universe travel thing, completely seamless. And I was honestly blown away by that. I don't know about you guys, but we might not see the strength of the hard drive until about 2-3 years from now, when the developers have had more time with the hardware to really push it to its limits. But I am excited to see what these launch titles do. I believe we're expecting somewhere in like the mid-20s of launch titles.
It's about 25, 26 games that were part of that showcase. I'm not sure if they're all launch titles, but that'd be sick.
That would be sick. I mean, oh no, they were just confirmed to come out, not launch titles.
Yeah, but I was gonna say they weren't all gonna be launch titles. Some of them weren't even gonna come out till 2021 and 22.
Yeah, I seen that. I remember seeing that now. Yep.
I hope Ratchet is a launch title.
I'm sorry, which one?
I said I hope Ratchet and Clank is a launch title.
It might be, that's a long running series. One of my favorite things about them is like the subtle innuendos they put in their subtitles, right? Ratchet and Clank.
Up your arsenal.
Up your arsenal, right? Going commando, things like that. So I really want to see what this one is. I gotta say, I recently played, Spider-Man PS4 because I borrowed actually Punisher's PS4 because there weren't enough games for me to purchase it. But the thing I'm most excited about in here was that Spider-Man Miles Morales one. And the thing I'm most excited for is that they gave him a shape up. And that was the most impressive thing in there. So really excited to see the black costume, see what to do with that. I want to go through the sequel for Horizon, officially titled Forbidden West, and see what they do with that. But
is that a sequel or just like an expansion?
No, it's a full sequel, bro.
No, it has to be a sequel. It's been years.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a full sequel, bro.
Oh, I think we need to look into that. I'm not sure.
Nah,
so, if it is DLC, whatever.
Morales, how about that one? Is that an expansion to like this universe? Is it like the same base universe, or is it like a brand new game?
No, it's the same one. They showed Miles Morales in the. I think you actually played a couple missions with him.
They could have done more with that, in my opinion. That was probably the worst part of those games with Mary Jane, but I actually enjoyed the ones with Miles Morales because you actually did stuff, you hack stuff or whatever. But no, this looks like it is going to be like a standalone expansion, like the Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. I don't know if you guys did that one for Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
No, I didn't get the chance.
Yeah, so I think they're going to kind of take that direction. I don't think it's going to be a full game, but we're going to have to wait for more information on that because I don't think it's DLC because they just released 3 DLCs for that. So this is going to be some sort of standalone here. That and I think Godfall are 2 of the main ones that I'm looking forward to.
So one thing that stood out to me a lot in regard, from this PlayStation 5 showcase was a conversation that we had on an earlier podcast was about remasters and remakes. And I mentioned that they shouldn't have been remaking Resident Evil 4. Instead, they should have been working on Resident Evil 8. Well, that was a pleasant surprise to see an actual trailer for Resident Evil 8. So they're doing both, which is awesome.
Man, he doesn't know what he's talking about, man. He was directly in the boardroom when they told him that information. It was not new to him. He knew it was coming. He just wanted to tease that. But no, I think it's great. Another one that I'm sure you're excited about is Demon's Souls is getting a full remake as well.
Definitely. I never played that one, but I started with the Dark Souls series just to play, the game that started it all, that started that genre. I mean, it feels like it's in its own. Those games are in its own genre. You know what I mean?
You think about when something's difficult. It was like wow. It reminds you of Dark Souls. Like that's the first thing people jump to nowadays.
It's harder than Cuphead.
Nah, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that.
It looked beautiful though. That little tease they showed.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited to see. What about you, Tortuga? As someone who's never owned one of the Sony consoles, were you impressed by what they were doing with the hardware from a gameplay aspect and as far as their concepts that they were coming out? Not a lot of these games make it to multi-platform. What did you think about those?
So PlayStation has never been my cup of tea, but I can't talk bad about PlayStation after seeing the PS5 showcase. There were a lot of titles that came on screen that I was impressed with and just that I thought were incredibly beautiful. And just to tie in a little bit, I never played Ratchet and Clank, obviously, because I never played PlayStation games, but I was impressed when they showed the gameplay of, I don't know who that main Clank, the guy that's shooting most of the time.
Clank is a robot.
Ratchet.
Yeah, sure. So Ratchet, when he was, when he was shifting through the fields and changing the scenery instantly, because they're using that no latency, zero latency, zero lag kind of like transitioning between anything with the new hardware again with both PlayStation and Xbox, and it was incredible to see that in action.
Yeah, I think that's definitely highlighting like that SSD power they talking about, and they're because like Steven said, the SSD you could do the 5 gigabytes, but they could actually compress that and make it a lot faster. And I think you're seeing it with that game. That's why they showed that, and then they did the gameplay, which was genius. It was like a smack to Xbox. Like this is how you do it. You show the gameplay right after that little trailer, and boom, it does exactly what they showed.
Definitely think it was a huge slap to Xbox. and hopefully that means Xbox is going to pick it up with their next showcase. But to answer Pixel's questions, games that caught my eye immediately were let me go down my list here. So Kena Bridge of the Spirits.
Yeah.
I got a super Ori and the Blind Forest mixed with Breath of the Wild kind of vibe off of it, which both are beautiful games, and to combine the essences from both of those titles into one completely new title, I was like, that's something I would definitely play. Another one that caught my attention was Pragmata. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Pragmata. That was interesting. I think Books had some thoughts on Pragmata because it resembled another PlayStation game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I thought it looked exactly like. I thought it looked like Death Stranding. The suit that he had was very similar. The little arm in the back that was it kind of looked similar as well, except in a different position. And then the little girl, I honestly thought was that baby. I never played Death Stranding, but I thought it was the baby that he was carrying around. I don't know where they went with that, what direction they took with that story. I definitely got to get into that game because it's Kojima. He's always made great games, and it just reminded me so much of that. And I thought it was like a part 2 or maybe like DLC or something.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty sure they're expecting DLC, if I'm not mistaken. But that, like I said, Godfall was another one. I really want to see what they have with the Square Enix game, the Project Athia. But that looked really
I
good
saw
too.
that. That looked really, really good. That was definitely on top of the list. I'm super impressed by the reveal from PlayStation.
I mean, there's 2K21. They usually don't disappoint. To me, that look my character could sweat. But for those who like those sports games, I'm sure you're in for a treat there. The 2K games have really, taken it to that next level. I think because that's really what everyone talks about nowadays when they look at it from a competitive aspect. So we'll see what's going to go on with that. There were many others that didn't really do it for me.
What did you think about Bugs Next?
Yeah, no. What were they thinking?
No, they got to throw little kid games in there. But when I saw
Was
that,
that
I
a
was
little
like,
kid game?
I don't know. That's some crack stuff right there. Because you got to be on something to enjoy that, I think.
Oh my god! Only real men play Bugs Next. But yeah. So a couple games that actually caught my eye. Just straying away from the big titles. We have Deathloop. That actually seemed interesting. Like 2 assassins, like in a in a battle, and it just keeps looping over and over again. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of game that is. Like what genre that would be. If it's like maybe online multiplayer with the 2 agents trying to kill each other, but that seemed interesting. And another one too is
not to cut you off there, but I agree with you 100%. I'm just glad to see that Bethesda isn't releasing another Skyrim, so we'll see where they go with that.
I also want to point out that at least Deathloop did it right. Returnal, I did not like the way they went with that whole dying and restarting concept.
Well, yeah, but that was like part of the story, though.
It's funny because it seems like because every single game you can die and you come back, so it seems like maybe they're just adding that to they're adding that into the story. They're incorporating how somebody can die and come back. You know what I mean? Just like Mario Galaxy did. So maybe that's where they're going with that. But another one though that caught my eye. I'm into like horror games and movies and whatnot. But Ghostwire Tokyo, the visuals looked amazing. I hopefully it's like an exact replica of the city. You know what I mean, that they put into the game, because I've never visited. It would be dope to see it in the game. But just the characters themselves, the schoolgirl without the head, like it just looks crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Japan is known to be one of the greater creators of like the horror genre. So I'm really excited to see where they go with that. Like I said, it did look great. I really want to see more of where like the story kind of goes, but those visuals, like, I don't know, they've been putting in work with that reveal. Big Mike has a lot of catching up to do because, like, we've mentioned it time and again. We were not impressed with what they did. They could have done so much more. Like, granted, it was just third party. So like, I get it. But man, that Ghostwire, like I was feeling like Neji from Naruto just watching it with some of the combat. Yeah, that's all I felt like. He was just hitting those chakra points. But yeah, I definitely want to see more of that. Unfortunately, we do have to wait till 2021. Like, I know we're halfway through the year now of 2020. But I do want to see where they go with that. The other one that I'm kind of excited for as well, I know we brought it up, but is that Resident Evil. I really want to see what kind of direction they went because they completely revamped Resident Evil 7 from that first-person perspective. So I'm curious to see what they do with this one. What do you guys think?
I'm definitely excited for that. I love Resident Evil games. One thing that Obi said, and I'm definitely gonna speak more on Resident Evil, but I just want to go back to Ghostwire for a second. They were made by a game developing company, Tango Gameworks, who actually made The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2, and is published by Bethesda, right? And I always felt like those two games felt very, very similar to Resident Evil. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys ever played those, but just the gameplay felt similar to games prior to Resident Evil 7. But the trailer itself, it looked crazy. I didn't know which game it was at first. The first thing they said was that his story comes to a close or something like that. It comes to an end. I didn't realize they were talking about Chris Redfield, so it definitely looks very interesting, and I really want to play that game. I haven't beat 7 yet. Definitely gonna get it and play through it before 8 comes out.
Resident Evil 7 is VR, right?
Yeah, I believe they did have. Yeah, they did have VR. No, I don't think it was at launch, but I believe they did add VR.
Oh, I thought it was just VR.
No, it's not just VR.
Oh, okay.
What I do like that they did is kind of in one reveal, they did first party and third party on here. I like what what Microsoft is doing with their monthly thing. Really, just trying to build that hype train up for supposed holiday 2020 launch, right? So, I get it, but I would have liked to see again more gameplay for them. So I do hope that is something that they kind of learn from the comments and even the Sony reveal. I really hope that is something that they take into account moving forward.
Yeah, but these were some of. Are these? Do you guys know if these are some of Sony's first-party developers from these trailers? Yeah, right.
A lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see none of Xboxes yet, so they have a whole list of games coming.
Yeah, but we expected that in the recent one. We knew it was only third-party.
Yeah,
which is fine. I just wish they would have given us more.
Oh yeah, we need more.
One thing about the third party developers is when it comes to Insomniac Games, I mean, even though they did exclusively on PlayStation, that recently became a first party company. You know what I mean? A first party dev team, and they definitely made a great move with acquiring Insomniac. They produced the Spider-Man games, and they're keeping Ratchet and Clank going for how long now? This is crazy.
Yeah,
money in the bank.
Think it was a great move. Yeah, I mean that's another thing. But it's because that they sell so well that we're able to see more. One thing that I was kind of interesting to me is how we have currently released games that will also be available on the PS5. Games like Control, GTA 5, of course, working exclusively with Rockstar on this one for an updated version of that. So curious to see what that's going to be like. And of course, right, Destiny 2 is coming, Fortnite, Warframe, Rainbow Six Siege.
I'm not gonna lie. When they started the whole presentation, and you see all the PS4 trailers and stuff, when they stopped on Grand Theft Auto for a hot minute, I was like, I really want to just jump back in and play this because it looks so good. I guess that was an enhanced version that's coming to PS5, and that's gonna be dope.
The only thing I want to know is how long that loading screen is going to take to jump back into online mode.
Bet you'll be faster.
Man, we'll see. Something that, of course, I'm sure has been asked time and time again is Cyberpunk 2077. I believe it is likely, but it is unconfirmed at the moment. Is again Cyberpunk 2077. We do know it is going to be on PS4 and Xbox One, while Xbox offering the smart delivery upgrade. PS5 has still not mentioned anything on that so far. So curious to see how that's going to work and what they're going to do. We've spoken about it time and time again. It makes sense to not have to purchase the game from a consumer standpoint. Obviously, the developers and the publishers get more money. But I feel like with all the technology available now, that is entering into the territory of greed, in my opinion, with all of these things that we have available, because it's not even at a discounted price. Perfect example. Right now, I plan to purchase The Last of Us 2. Comes out in a couple days. Thanks, Punisher.
I think I'm gonna have to play that first.
I don't know, bro. But we know they're going to do some sort of remastered version, just like they did for PS3 to PS4 for the Last of Us, the first game. So I want to know, why do you have to buy the full game all over again? Like, I feel like it's one of the things that Sony needs to work on to become more consumer friendly. I get it; it's more money in their pocket, but I don't know. It's just one of the gripes I have with it. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, they might do something like that. If anything, one thing that I've noticed throughout this whole entire time is this cat and mouse game that Sony and Microsoft are playing with each other, especially when it comes to the terms of pricing. You know what I mean? This showcase, we didn't even get a price. We just got the how it looks, all the games that or a lot of the games that are going to be coming out. I feel like because of that, they probably make changes up until release. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or until they mass produce it. So they might do something like that. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. And to piggyback on books, like the way they just came out and showed it, I didn't think they were gonna show the consoles, and they did. And I was waiting for that price. I'm over there like staring at the screen, like, are they about to show this price? Because it's been like an up and down battle, I think. Oh no, they're only digital. Was anybody expecting that? I was not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that for launch. I was expecting it down the line, but I'm sure they might have seen some of the success that the Xbox One S saw, that all digital one, which I think is great. Because honestly, I don't remember the last time I put in a disc in my Xbox One, and I got mine at launch, or not launch. I got it for my birthday, March 2015. Right, so that's a lot of years that I have in there, and I think I've put in like 4 discs in that entire time.
I'm glad they're offering it. It's probably gonna be like $100 less.
That's probably what they're gonna do.
I just hope it means cheaper prices for games, right? Because it's less money spent on shipping
that's not
and
gonna happen,
creating and
bro.
printing.
I've been waiting for that for years. For some reason, shipping the discs and buying it digital is the same exact price, because that makes sense.
It's not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It has to.
Hey, go to Walmart. Walmart sells all their new games for $50. For $50, yeah, $10 less.
There you go. You better
So
get that
does
disc.
Amazon if you want to.
But now you gotta pay more for the console.
Yeah, and it's funny though, because I've done the reverse of our friend Pixel here. He pretty much stopped buying physical games, and I'm starting to buy more physical games because I don't know, I can't shake this feeling that eventually some of these games are not going to be available digitally anymore. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be just left without being able to access them, or that's just my personal feeling though. You know what I mean? If I have the digital copy, then I'll always have that game.
I mean, that's not a new thing. I'll throw in a perfect example. One of the games that I love to play was the Scott Pilgrim for the Xbox 360, and I'm sure they were able to develop that beat 'em up game, with the licensing and the launch of the movie at that time. I bought it. It should be mine, but I cannot download it anymore. Like, it is not available anywhere to re-download. So I agree with Books. That is one of the benefits of having it. Unfortunately, just even with like PC games, there's no such thing as a physical game. So it does fall down to a preference. You look at like the Nintendo cartridges; those normally only go up in value. So I can definitely see it from that aspect. But I don't know about the PS4 and the Xbox, unless it's like some sort of collector's edition. I don't think the physical is something that I would do.
You know what's funny though? You're saying that they don't do physical PC games, but you definitely do see them at stores. And I've actually bought one for XCOM 2, right? And I thought I'm getting a disc. I open it, it's just a code for Steam.
Exactly.
So like, why even sell it in a case?
That's
You know what I
amazing.
mean?
Yeah, it's a waste. It's a waste of money.
It was so funny. I was disappointed. I'm like, I kind of wanted the disc, but at least I got the artwork. It's pretty cool. It's an alien that's made up of human skulls, so it looks cool.
You paid for packaging.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, So like,
But I got the game, so
so it's like it's a toss up. Really, it is ultimately going to fall down on what you prefer. What works best for you. I'm running out of space, so I'm being very selective. If all goes well, the next one that I'll be receiving is going to be the Cyberpunk for Xbox. And I don't even know what I'm going to do with the disc, because I plan to pay that on PC anyway. But I really want that collector's edition. it was ordered there, so we'll see what that goes.
And the more you speak about Cyberpunk, the more excited I get for it. And then I start looking at the artwork and some of the reveals that came out last year. And it does look more and more appealing to me the more I look at it.
Man, let me tell you, I am so excited for this game. There's just a million things that I plan to do. I know people are overhyping this 100%. But it is that people are basically making this game out to be like the movie Gamer, where you can just do whatever you want. And it's not going to be like that. I'm sure it's going to have some sort of Skyrim aspect, right? Where you can kind of go on a mayhem. But there's so many things that they've confirmed already. Like you can do an all pacifist run out of the gate, which I'm not going to do, but I'm sure people will do,
Yeah.
But it does open it up for that replayability, which I can enjoy.
There you go, Books. There's some replay value when you do your calculations for this game.
Hey,
I mean, I if it gives you an achievement, I'd try it. You know what I mean? So,
Damn, you got me there. I would definitely go for the achievement,
bro.
you know what I mean? And I'm all about trying to get the harder ones too. Like if you guys have ever played Dead by Daylight. An asymmetrical horror survivor game, you get to pick a killer. So when you're the killer, you have to pretty much damage the survivors and then put them on a hook to sacrifice them to some entity. There's an area, it's a basement where they have 4 hooks right next to each other. And if you get all the survivors on those hooks, you get an achievement. And I actually got that one.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? It took me a couple. Well, it's actually, when I actually wanted to do it, I got it on my first try. That was pretty sick.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I played the game once.
He's a good killer.
I always seen it. Like I would go by there to see if people are hiding there, and I would see like, oh, they have 4 hooks at once. Maybe I should try to hook them all at one time. And I never actually did it. And then with that very next game, I'm like, okay, let me try.
If you take a long time to get like a next player, does the other person get off of one hook or they stay there?
It's like
are they dead or alive?
50-50. It's 50-50 shot. Like you can definitely struggle to get off the hook, but then it lowers your time that you have before the entity actually shows up. Or you can actually have another survivor come and take you off the hook.
Okay, got it. So it does sound difficult though to get them all 4 at a certain amount of time.
It kind of reminds me of what one of the hard achievements was actually for Halo Reach. I forgot what mission it was. It must have been like mission 8 or 9. It was towards the end where you had to jump off this cliff and land on an elite that was at the bottom and assassinate them.
I remember that.
Yeah, where you would normally die if you just landed on the floor, but if you were able to get that assassination off, that was an achievement. That's actually one of my favorite ones.
I actually got that one too. And just to close out the whole Dead by Daylight thing, I know you guys don't like that kind of game, but I was disappointed in knowing that the achievement was only to get 3. There isn't an achievement for all 4.
At least you did it though. You got bragging rights, man. Like I got that 4.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
So what you guys think about the other accessories? Like the headset, they showed you the whole
headset
PlayStation
looked
5
great.
accessory.
I did like the way the headset looked. I don't think I'd buy it, but it definitely looked great. The charging station was nice as well.
I hope they have a bundle with all that stuff. That would be nice.
But Punisher wants to pay fucking $1,000 for the PS5.
I'm saying normally bundles are a little cheaper, but it's still gonna be an arm and a leg. I still hope they're like $500 the most.
Bro, I think they should do the same thing. I think they're probably gonna do $499 with the optical drive, and probably $399 for the all digital. If they want to stay competitive, that's basically what it is. I don't think it's leaning that way, but that's kind of what I want both of them to do. If Xbox releases another, unless they're going to do like the yearly release of their consoles, like they did with the Xbox One.
You think the Xbox is going to do a fridge and a mini fridge?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I feel like that they're wanting to price it ridiculously high. And that's why they're not putting the price on. They're waiting for, either one of them, like Sony's waiting for Microsoft and vice versa to put out the price.
I think
so they can be competitive with it. Yeah, like this is, I don't know.
I mean,
we'll see what happens.
But obviously the price doesn't mean too much, right? Because think about the PS3, how that was it, that 40 gigabyte or the 60 gigabyte, how it was like
20 and 60.
Is that what it was? It was 20 and 60?
20 and 60, yeah.
Right, but the price range on those weren't those like $700-800, because it came with
600 for the 60.
Yeah. So, and then the Xbox 360 debacle where you had the core one or like the pro one, and you basically had to cut off your ties with the people who got the core one because they couldn't game together. You couldn't like update the hard drive. So you know, and the PS3 still sold more, you know? So I'm really curious to see what they do with this. Again, we're talking about holiday primetime shopping here in the United States. We're looking at you, France. You know, you're our favorite listener so far.
France.
But, you know, I don't know. I don't want this to be an arm and a leg because it is something that I want to see not too crazy overpriced because I do want to purchase it. I don't know if I'd get the Xbox, to be honest, just because a lot of those games are going to be available on the PC, and that's where I've been playing anyway. So it's not something that I'd purchase twice.
I'm prepared to pay whatever.
Yeah, I think I am too, because I get what you're saying, Pixel. Like about the Xbox, you're probably gonna get most of those games on the PC because they're being so like consumer friendly, like consumer first, you know, and the smart delivery and everything. But I'm like, I already know the Series X is gonna do better than my computer, and I have a 1070, so I don't have no slouch when it comes to the PC. But even my tech is already outdated when it comes to the PS5 and Xbox. And if you want like that full experience, especially for even if they're like $500, even if they push like 550, even 600, they're already pushing it with me. But it's gonna be stronger than my computer, and I'm pretty sure than a lot of other people's computers out there.
Damn, did you hear that, guys? Punisher said he's gonna buy all of us the Xbox Series X.
Woo! I'm gonna hit the lotto, bro. I'm gonna buy you a mansion too.
Thanks, appreciate it. But yeah, you know, like I think price is going to be a very big, you know, determining factor whether I purchase any next gen at all. Because, like I said, the Xbox Series X looks fantastic. But
Pixel, don't lie. You want that experience. I know you want it, man. You want that 4K, some games 120 FPS goodness. I know you do.
But I got a 2070 Super. Like I feel like I could hit that. You know what I mean?
Oh, you definitely. Well, 2070 baller. You on that baller life? You want people to buy you mansions? Jesus,
bro. That was me whoring myself out basically. To work like 6 jobs.
So what do you guys? Especially like this would be like a question for Coyote. Like, are you looking to get the PS5 without the disc just to save that extra money? Do you think that's a route you would take? Because I know you're not big on it already, but you might want to try the exclusive, so you might actually want to go that route
for the PS5.
Yeah,
honestly, that's what it's looking like for me. I don't think Nintendo's planning to release anything anytime soon. Right, the Switch is great as is. There's a couple games coming out I'm looking forward to, but no full console. You know, the PS5 honestly looks like the next gen winner for me. But I am going to have to take a look and see what that's going to cost, because I don't even think it's something that I'd get at launch for a couple reasons, right? They've already listed that there are limited quantities, and those for the people who need it, right, day one. And I don't think there's anything that's coming out that I need to play right away. So I could wait personally.
I'm pre-ordering that as soon as I can.
To answer Punisher's questions, I won't. I don't think I would buy physical copies anymore moving forward with the next gens, mainly because there's not that much benefit having a physical copy as there used to be. Now, when you buy a physical copy, all you do is you pop it in and then it says, oh, thanks for buying the game. Now download the entire game, which is going to take you the next 3-4 hours.
Seriously.
And
that's true.
Not even could take into account of how many of these games are coming out with these days.
Right. So I'd rather just buy it digitally where you can pre-download the game, and then once it hit midnight, it unlocks and you can start playing it, versus getting the game and then waiting to download that game.
Yeah, that's also taking the time out to go. If you're not getting it delivered, go into the store. If you do get it delivered, maybe you got to go to work. You can't even install it until that night. You know, there's so many factors for that disc thing, in my opinion, that is more of a detriment than anything
I agree.
else.
So I would most likely get the non-optical drive version.
I could think of one benefit of actually getting physical copies. It just depends on how much you're willing to spend on which games, right? But collector's editions, you get the deluxe editions on the the digital stores and it's all digital content. You know what I mean? But I don't buy many games collector's editions, but they're definitely there's going to be games that I'm going to want to do that for, like especially God of War, games like that, and they're mostly going to be on PlayStation or PlayStation.
Damn, Books, that's a good
It'll be
point.
cool just to see what they put out there. You know what I mean? Like just like you guys know that I paid $170 for the Ghost of Tsushima collector's edition, right? And that comes with the mask. I don't even remember everything else that it comes with, but just that mask had me sold. You know what I mean? It's actually
That's
a legit
great. You know,
mask.
I'm right there with you with like collector's edition. We brought it up earlier. That's really like the only benefit, and that's if the package is good enough. Like even if there's one thing that you feel adds that value, that's great. But I can think of a couple that didn't really do it for me. Like what was a big one? The Call of Duty 2, the Modern Warfare. Didn't that come with like the night vision goggles or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was
Yeah,
the
I
one,
remember
right?
that.
Like that. Yeah, like that's great, that's fantastic, but it didn't have that value for me to purchase it. I mean, I'm not a big Call of Duty fan in general, but the collector's edition is something. Like I think the Witcher 3 one was fantastic. That I wish I could have gotten my hands on. Again, Cyberpunk. Really looking forward to that one.
We need to start pushing for that because it's true. Like if you have an all digital, you can't really, you don't really get the game if you buy a collector's edition because it only brings the disc, right?
But why not? Why can't you purchase a collector's edition digital package where you get a code and you get the item in the mail?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that don't exist now, right?
That I would love that. It does not, and let me tell you, it's something I've actually put in certain subreddits, hoping someone in the team sees it. The big a bit of a problem with that is that usually, most of the time, they outsource. That the goodies. Because these are mainly game companies, so they'll reach out to a company to issue out like Cyberpunk again has that the main character V kind of like in an action sequence of the motorcycle where he's like shooting his gun. So someone has to design it, someone has to like draw it and things like that, plus the other goodies. One thing that I hope to see more of that again, Cyberpunk is just such a great example for this. I hope other developers and publishers do this moving forward, is that there are no additions to any of the deluxe or collector editions. So the one you buy for Xbox is going to come with the same goodies as PS4 or PC. There's not going to be a GameStop edition, a Best Buy edition, an Amazon edition. It's just one edition, and I really hope to see that moving forward because there were a couple games in the past. I apologize, can't remember them right now, where there are so many editions that you literally had to choose like where to buy.
Yeah, I remember that.
But for the retail store, that's not a bad idea. So you got to see it in almost their point of view, because not a lot of people like GameStop is losing a lot of business, right? Because nobody's really going over there to buy your games. You got Walmart for $10 cheaper. You got maybe a Best Buy close to you. You're not going to go to GameStop. But like, I know I bought like a special, they had a special item or something, or like a skin in Best Buy when I bought Destiny. So I went to Destiny and bought Best Buy because I really wanted that skin. It was like a dope skin.
Went to Destiny and bought Best Buy. What a guy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when they have these different items that you can get from going to a specific store, that's helping the retailer to get what they need, to get those purchases.
Right, but that's the retailer. But what benefit do I get for multiple retailers offering? What if there's two? I'm not going to buy the same game twice. You know what I mean? Like it ultimately comes down to me, the consumer, the one who's going to be using the product.
You miss out on that skin, homie, when everybody sees you online.
Right, but how is that fair? How is that fair? You actually bring up a very good point with that. There have been a whole bunch of reports within the Fortnite community where they don't even want to play with people. People are literally leaving games if you don't have like certain skins because it basically shows that you're a noob and they don't want to play with you. So it shows like that exclusivity and really in the community where we should all be, coming together as one.
Well, Fortnite is like, there's a lot of 5-year-olds in there. So that this is the problem, right? Like if you talk to a real gamer going to clear. I could play with a noob skin and it won't affect me one bit seeing a samurai guy, sword guy. And as long as I him, then I'll just teabag him and I'm on my merry way. If he's better than me, he's better than me.
But no, but like I said, but why should that even like be an option, right? There should be a community of coming together. You know, we all just want games to play. You know, some people like certain types of games, but that doesn't make you like any less of a gamer. You know, there's people who only play like a Professor Layton game. You know, or only like the Pokemon games. You know, they would never vouch. Not vouch. They would never run to like something like The Witcher 3. They would never jump into like a first person shooter or a battle royale. But that doesn't make them any less of a gamer. So why should these companies have forced us to make that decision of what retailer to go to play the game? Like if they're gonna make something available, why not make it available for all? It's the same game, you know. It's not like
I'm pretty sure all of us here, the old man gamers, we're gonna go to the cheapest spot. Whoever has that better discount, that's where we're shopping.
Old man gaming coming soon. But no, like, you know, it's just it's unfair to us as a consumer, right? They put in all this work. You know, the developers are getting the money regardless. So it really comes down to, you know, who's going to reflect that in their sales for that month, that week, for that retailer. And, you know, I want the retailers to succeed. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, send them all to oblivion, but I feel like it's unfair to us as a consumer. Like, if you're just going to have it available for everyone, you know. So some people prefer delivery. They'll get it through Amazon or Walmart. You know, some people want to walk into the store. Maybe they don't like the Best Buy delivery, but, you know, they like to go to Best Buy and maybe they'll pick up an extra controller or something. You know what I mean? But it should have like those extra goodies should just be one per game, not one item, but just one collection per game, because it's just not good for us, the consumer. You know, we're the ones that are going to be experiencing it, spending our money, you know, our time, especially for people who don't have as much time to play video games. So I don't know, it's just my 2 cents on that.
The remote, though, they finally showed the back of the remote. I was surprised. People were saying that there might be back buttons or this or that, but at least it got USB-C. So, and the people wondering about the battery now because it has that like charging station, but every remote previous had that. So as long as PS5 says it's gonna have a battery life, then I believe it.
I honestly just hope it doesn't feel too light. I have the Elite Series 2 for Microsoft, and that thing has spoiled me to all
same here, oblivion.
Man. Okay. Like I can't use my Elite Series 1 anymore because it just feels fake. It feels like it's a replica. I don't want it. Get it away from me. So I just hope it has some kind of weight or density to it, because, you know, I have bigger hands. I am glad to see the remote does look a little bigger. We'll see what that kind of plays into moving forward. I am a little surprised with the PS5 reveal that they made it white. Like that's kind of like the primary color on there, straying away from their, you know, the gray PS1, the black PS2 and PS3 and PS4. I kind of want to know what prompted that. Again, it looks phenomenal. I am excited for it.
I think it makes it pop more. Maybe they went for like that futuristic look, because it definitely looks like this shit got antennas. So like flat screen antennas on it. So, you know, they went for a future look.
Props to the design team. Like, for real, props to that design team.
That two-tone color is nice, because imagine if it's all white, if they would have went black. That I don't know how I would feel about that. The two-tone looks a lot better with this white now, with the black in the middle.
It would look like a big old Oreo if they did it inverted.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely will see that meme.
Bro, Oreo memes. I'm ready for it. Double stuffed. It's the only way to look.
I can't wait to see how Xbox responds, though. Like, that's why I love that the PlayStation hit it out the park. Everybody's talking positive. There's some memes here and there, but everybody's saying, yo, they show gameplay, they show this and that. But now Xbox with that July event, oof. Like, if they show like a lot of first-person party games, like, I can't wait.
Well, Microsoft already said that in July, that's what they're going to mainly focus on, are the games developed by their own studios.
That's perfect.
You know, we're definitely going to see a lot of first party content in July.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it, because, you know, they are planning to do an Inside Xbox every month until launch. So I really want to see what they do. I believe we discussed, you know, off of the podcast that for June, they're going to highlight updates to like the Xbox platform and the services that they're going to provide. So curious to see what that's going to look like. I wonder if it's going to be like their apps or like the OS.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great way for them to kind of explain more of the operating system that was leaked recently. It would be a good opportunity to shine more light on that because the community already saw it. So it'd be great to actually see it working.
Actually, I was watching Game Ranks right on YouTube. They're pretty good source of entertainment news and things like that. But they actually did like their own kind of PS5 thing. And at the end of it, they actually showed you what like that intro is to turning on the PS5 is going to be, like the noises and like the intro screen before you press like the PS button to like log into your account. And it sounded nice. It was very harmonious in my opinion. But if you're interested in that, you can definitely go check them out.
I bet you it's just gonna work like lightning fast, right? I'm gonna love that because that's one of the things that turned me off a little bit about like the whole PlayStation like software and stuff. It did turn me off a little bit because it was like sluggish and everything, but this feels like it's going to be so premium. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm excited.
That's what they've been selling us for a long time now, right? That the hardware, there's not going to be any latency. It's just going to be super fast, super smooth.
They put that technology into their remotes too, because they were hyping that up with the remote. That's why I'm excited about the controller too, because they said they took a lot of steps in making sure like the input lag is lowered by a lot, and that excites me because it's like, yes, this, I want that premium feeling, and I feel like I'm gonna get it, and I want to pay for that. I'll pay for that.
And I agree and that would be great. And it may come a bit of a shocker to everyone, but I would probably get the PlayStation 5 if that controller feels right and it doesn't hurt my hands, because that's my biggest issue with PlayStations is after about an hour or two, my hand starts to cramp when I play on the PlayStation.
He means controller. If it feels like an Xbox remote, woo!
Yeah, if they make it feel bigger and heavier and sturdy like the Xbox remotes, then I would probably get a PlayStation because, like I said, those titles that were shown on the showcase, they really made me want to play a lot of those games. And looping back into the showcase, what did you guys think about that cat life simulator Stray, where it was just walking around town, hopping in and out of houses?
I think it would be a pretty cool game, especially if you're playing as the cat.
Man, if Goat Simulator was able to become that popular, just playing as like an animal, I'm sure a lot of lovers are gonna kind of fall in love with it.
So I definitely think it's gonna be one of those games where everyone's gonna have a completely different experience playing it, because you're gonna you're gonna go down one street, you're gonna enter a different house, and depending on what you do, timing and whatnot, I feel like there's going to be stories in the backgrounds. Like maybe you'll catch like a married couple arguing about something, or maybe you'll like distract someone from doing their homework. And then you come back maybe later in the day or night and they're in trouble because they were playing with a cat, that kind of stuff. So it would be really cool to see how you as a cat can interact with the environment without actually interacting with the environment. Basically, the environment.
I just thought about Tortuga going up to like people that are allergic to cats and killing everybody in the game.
But it kind of it looks like a much more docile version of, I don't know if you played it, that Goose Game, the Untitled Goose Game, right? That game got so much popularity that I was not expecting in like any way, shape, or form.
Did you ever play it?
No, I've seen it played. Like, it was fun. Like, you basically like honk at people.
Oh my god, it's a fun game.
It's like Chaos Simulator as a goose.
And you would never think you would have fun playing as a duck, but just messing around with people is pretty fun.
Yeah, I could definitely. I mean, like, I've seen some gameplay of it, and it does look hilarious. It really does. But yeah, it's nice to see a lot of like these indie games gain even more traction as like time goes on, where the AAA titles aren't the only things that people are looking forward to. Because let me tell you, that cat game, the Stray, looks beautiful. Like, even just for that aesthetic, to be able to visualize all that as you're going through. That alone makes you want to explore just to see what more they have on this.
Yeah, that's true. Even the one thing that gets me, we haven't even seen it how it's supposed to look. Even before they started the whole thing, it says these games that we're about to show you is going to look way better on the PlayStation 5 because they were streaming at like 1080p, 30 FPS, and I can only all those games are going to be 4K. I know that for a fact, and I'm pretty sure they're all going to be freaking like 60 FPS. I'm hoping, and it's going to look so good, so much better than what we saw. It's going to look, and I can't wait.
Which is cool.
I apologize to backtrack a little bit here, but I know we were talking about the price between the consoles, but there was something that actually what came out recently is that the CEO, Jim Ryan, apparently was quoted saying that the company is emphasizing value as opposed to price. And that is a little concerning.
I saw rumors of like $700, and I just like I stepped back for a second because I'm like, would I actually get this console if it's something ridiculous like that?
You definitely
You would.
Maybe because I do want it so bad. I want that experience. I want how developers imagine you to play the game. That's how I want to play the game because that's at its best quality. So I do want that, but $700, that's ridiculous.
I mean, I do like that fact that developers are now free to create content that they're not limited by the hardware anymore, and they can just create worlds and create mechanics and create just games. And you saw with the PlayStation Showcase, a lot of them said that ideas they had for years were just not possible with where the technology was, and they no longer have those limitations, and they're free to come up with new creations, and that's amazing.
Perfect example is actually Square Enix with Final Fantasy VII. The remake that they recently came out is actually how they, said that they envisioned the game when they released it for the PlayStation 1. So I agree with Tortuga 100%. I am glad that they now have that ability to really create the things that in their head,
I'm just glad we have developers that think ahead like that. Because look at that PlayStation regular game to now. That's amazing. And if that's how they envision it, I can't wait for the future.
And real quick, guys, what did you think about Goodbye Volcano High?
Goodbye Volcano High.
I think I was putting groceries. I don't think I got to see that one.
Oh, you should check it out.
Well, how was it? I can't remember it really.
So it reminds me of a game that I played before, and I can't remember the
Oh, you're talking about the Unicorn World thing?
No. It looked like...
Yeah. You're talking about the school with the donkeys and
No.
they look like dinosaurs or something.
There
I
we
don't know
go.
what they are.
They were dinosaurs.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what it was, like dinosaur characters in like some kind of like high school environment. And it was just titled Goodbye Volcano High, and in the title, like the meteor kind of like crashed through the words, and it was just I would be curious to see what that game was really about. And that would be one that I wouldn't mind playing if it came, discounted. I definitely wouldn't buy that on 0 day, but
yeah, same here. Like, so it's definitely an indie game, right? It definitely gave off that look.
Definitely
This
did.
is an indie game, yeah. So I don't know exactly who the developer is. I was trying to find out here, but I can't see it. But it looks like a game that has to do with a different world, which I like. This is why I step into games, right? To get into a different world, a different universe. But it's like it's about high school, man, and there's so much going on in life right now. I kind of just when I saw it, I was just like, this probably ain't for me because so much life is going on right now as we speak, and I really want to get away and just and have fun.
No, for sure, which is why it's not one that I would buy as soon as it comes out and wait until it's super discounted, like maybe $5 at most, just to see what it was really about. But yeah, no, I did like the artwork, at least from the trailer. From what I saw, the artwork was actually really cool.
Yeah, I actually just saw it. No, it does look pretty cool. It looks like it's definitely going to be more kind of like one of those. I didn't see like any combat or anything, so it's probably one of those like talking games.
Yeah, like a very, very heavy story driven game.
Yeah.
So, Tortuga, so you really not into Hitman at all, huh? You don't really like those games?
I don't like stealth games in general, mainly because I'm bad at them. and I get caught all the time, so I just go running and gunning. So
You just want a Splinter Cell. That's why you get mad when anything else is made. You want that Splinter Cell now.
no, I don't like Splinter Cell either.
You don't like Splinter Cell?
I don't like anything stealthy. I just said that.
You did just say that. I like to contradict, make you think other things. Do you really?
Yes,
stealth
I
games?
really
I
do
love
hate
stealth
stealth games.
I like stealth games. I don't mind stealth games, especially like a game like Hitman, because it's not just a stealth game. If you want to go all guns and guns and glory, you could do that. You don't have to play stealthy.
You can do that, but those games are geared more towards stealth fanatics, and
Yeah,
I am
it
not one of
is.
them.
It is. You're right.
It's my impatience. I don't like getting to a room and then hiding behind a desk for like 30 minutes, memorizing security patterns and whatnot. It's just not for me. I want to go in, get done with the room, go to the next cutscene.
More story driven. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Straightforward.
For sure.
What about what you guys think about Sackboy? A Big Adventure.
Wasn't for me.
Wasn't for me.
You know that's gonna be huge, though. I know it's not for you guys, but coming off of the Little Big Planet series, this is gonna be huge, a huge
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation game.
It has a
Yeah.
pretty big following as it is, and for those fans, enjoy, but not for me. So let's see. So we're kind of running out of time. So before we cut over to the game history, for this episode, I definitely want to say, if you're listening to this, give us a tweet with what you thought of the PlayStation 5 showcase. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, watch it and let us know what you think and what games you're definitely interested to catch when they come out, or games that you definitely thought, would show on the showcase and didn't make it, or anything that you definitely, just your opinion on anything of the showcase. Reach out to us. We definitely love to hear your feedback on it.
We really do. Reach out, guys. We love the communication.
So, Pixel, what do we got this week for game history?
So this week we actually do have a little bit of a treat, which kind of blew my mind a little bit because I never knew that this was the case. But we'll start with chronologically. I like to do the This Week in Video Game History, taking into account the month where we are recording. And in this one, I have two. Starting with 1991, in June 23rd, Sega actually released Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. And I apologize. And they also released it for the Master System and the Game Gear. So we'll kind of start with that. But something that I find super interesting is that in 1996, June 23rd as well, Nintendo released Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. So I kind of saw that and that they were released on the exact same day. And I thought it'd be a little treat since we have so many kind of reveals with this previous PS5 event. So I thought you guys would enjoy that.
Definitely do. And I can say Mario 64 took a lot of hours, or I should say I put a lot of hours from my childhood into Mario 64. It was,
That was
such
life.
a large game,
And such a good game.
it was such a good game. And
It was.
I did beat it, but I never completed it. And
What?
120 stars?
yeah, 120 stars and the red star and whatnot. I never got all of that. No.
I think I just did
No.
the 120 stars. I don't even remember anything additional. I just remember, what was it, Yoshi on the roof, and you get the hat outside. So that's all that I remember.
Oh, for me, beating it was just beating up Bowser a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, like I said,
Swinging
I
that
beat
tail.
the game. I beat the game. I just never completed it.
Oh, you never 100'd. Okay, got it.
Right.
But it was for its time. That game was so amazing for its time. Are you
Agreed.
kidding me? Jumping through pictures and then it becomes the world. Oh
Agreed.
my god, it's
Agreed.
crazy.
And I remember reading that, or at least it was just rumored that it might be ported over to the Switch, which would be amazing to just replay that with current day graphics, even though the Switch is behind on hardware. But you know what I'm saying.
Oh, like an enhanced version? Oh,
Right.
that would be amazing, man. That would be nice.
Definitely agreed. So, yeah, like I said, I know we mentioned it with like Super Mario Galaxy, the 3D platformer Marios. Super Mario 64 was the only one that I played. The other ones was just way too mechanically heavy for me. But yeah, it was a staple in the series and for the mascot itself. So yeah, just a little bit of video game history for you guys for this week.
Thank you, Pixel, for that. And before we go, let's let our listeners know where they can find us for more content.
Yeah, absolutely. So Pixel here, you can find me on Twitter at GTV_Pixel. And of course on Twitch, you can catch me live for twitch.tv/Pixelated Visionary.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And you guys can catch me on all the T's, GTV Punisher on Twitter, GTV Punisher on Twitch. I'm going to try to get a regular schedule on my Twitch channel too, so I can talk with you guys and talk with the community. Thank you so much for listening, guys. It's been fun.
And for me, it's your host, Tortuga, and you can find me on both Twitch and Twitter at GTV_Tortuga. All right. Thank you.
Boom. Hit the button.